Hey everyone, how you doing? This is Amon Green, Green Bay Packers all-time leading rusher, and you're watching Packers Total Access Live, your daily source for Packer content. Go Pack, go!
What's up, guys? Welcome to the PTA pregame show. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_access. Email us, PackersTotalAccess@gmail.com. You can text us, 865-658-5824. Joined alongside Jacob in Wisconsin on the Minnesota border there on the border of enemy territory today as the Packers are ready to face the Vikings. We got Tim live in the Mecca, Green Bay, Wisconsin, ready to break this down as we're roughly, about an hour and a half away from kickoff. Really excited for this one. Before we jump into all the details and the actives, inactives, all that stuff that's being unveiled right now, let's give a quick shout out to the good folks over at Ticket King, the official ticket provider of Packer Fan Total Access Live. Wisconsin-based since 1992, specializing in Packers tickets. They're Wisconsin's largest ticket source with offices next to Lambeau and in Milwaukee. Click on the link in the video description that'll send you to their website, theticketking.com. You can register as a customer. Go ahead and start shopping for your Packers tickets. Again, that's Ticket King, the official ticket provider of Packer Fan Total Access Live. All right, boys, we have made it. It is game day. I'm excited for this one. You know, obviously the Vikings are 1-point favorites. We're missing several starters, so it's going to be interesting to see how the backups step up to the plate here like they've done all year long. Let's do this, man. Let's waste no time and get you guys the important information as the inactives were just released a second ago. I think I've got them here on my Twitter page. Bang. All right, so here it is from Tom Silverstein, Spoon himself, says the Packers inactives. Christian Watson is out, but Javon Bullard is in. So your inactives are linebacker Quay Walker, no surprise. Wide receiver Christian Watson, no surprise. Cornerback Jair Alexander, no surprise. Evan Williams, safety, no surprise. Safety Omar Brown is inactive. So they brung him up in case Bullard wasn't ready, and Bullard is good to go, is what that sounds like, right? And then, of course, tackle Andre Dillard. So I feel like we've done a pretty good job prepping all week, guys, and I want to get your all stake here. Yeah, we were kind of prepared for this, right? Now the question becomes, what's that nickel defense look like, that 4-2-5, as you go to take the field against the Vikings today? And is Javon Bullard 100% to where he's going to play as many snaps as you need him to, whether it's in the slot or safety, right? That's another question. Let's go around the horn with it. We'll start with you, Tim. How we thinking, man? How we feeling about this?
Well, nothing like, missing a handful of your A-listers for, a big game against a divisional opponent on the road, right? No Scoot, no Quay, no Ja, no Evan Williams. We talked about the Omar Brown elevation, and then obviously, he's a scratch right now. And hopefully that does mean that they feel good about where Bullard's at. And Bullard's going to be able to play in the slot this game. And then if not, I guess the wild card is our boy KT Oladapo, right? Maybe we see a little bit of him sprinkled in today. But I'm for Christian Watson sitting this game. I think, Bo Melton can step up into that role. We can get big games from Jaden Reed and Tay Wicks as well. And don't forget about Romy Rome in the house. Watch your mouth. So I think it's going to be a good look all across the board. Next man up, like you posted, a few hours ago, Clayton, like you hit it on the head. This is what this time of year and this team is all about. You play for each other. It doesn't matter who's banged up, who's available, who's not, what the nerds on your, screen say. It doesn't matter. It's what happens out there on the field. So I, for one, feel as good as you can be considering you're down like 4 major players in your lineup. I don't know how you guys feel. I feel pretty good still.
I just caught the ball.
That's how I feel about it, man. I will say this, Jacob. It is we kind of hit on it yesterday, and you were talking about how the negative fan base is the negative portion of the fan base getting on your nerves. It cracks me up that the same people that 6 weeks ago were saying Christian Watson's a bust are now saying we have no shot to win this game because Christian Watson's out. Cracks me up. But carry on, sir. Go ahead. What do you think about this?
His receiving is tough.
It is.
That was kind of going to be my point. Clayton stole my thunder. No, I'm kidding. It did actually register with me, and that was one of the thoughts I had, is that going into this game, I think if this is a playoff game, I think Christian at least makes an effort to play. It sounds like this is more of same thing with Jair. I know there's a lot of conspiracies out there about this and that going on, but let's look at the facts, guys. If we don't win this game, it's not the end of the world. I know that sucks. And trust me, as a man that's sitting 40 minutes away from that godforsaken place, that dirty black hole that they call the Vikings new stadium. I think we got to take everything with a grain of salt. Today's going to be a day where, and I'm very hopeful, guys. I woke up again and I was like, I don't know why I feel this way. I just feel as if that we are progressing while they're regressing. I think that our fans are going to travel unexpectedly well once again into enemy territory. I think you're going to see about a 50-50 split, if not more, of Packer fans. We're going to be loud. We're going to be vocal.
Let's go.
And I think that, you know what, we're going to see. Tim said Bo Melton. You know what I want to see? I want to see a little bit of like, you know, a Malik Heath game or something crazy that we don't expect. Tight end 3, Ben Sims. You know, I want to see somebody come out and pull something out of their butt and really show us what I do want to highlight a comment here because I wanted to get your guys' opinion on this. All good. And I'm not shading you at all whatsoever. He's just let's hit up on how our offense should attack the Vikings, keeping in mind the strength of their defense against the run. I would argue that I want us to pound the ball today. Absolutely. Just if it's not Josh Jacobs, that's fine. You know, he's statistically, I think, has far and away the most rushes in the first quarter of any running back right now in the league. I want to see that trend continue, but if it's the second quarter, and even if it's a tight game, I kind of want us to pull off and maybe let Wilson and Brooks have a little shot at it just because I want to stay as healthy as we can. Tim just talked about how we're going into this game without, which I think are legit. I think Christian Watson is a star. Obviously, Jair is a star. I want those guys healthy and rejuvenated going into the playoffs.
Yeah, and what All Good is talking about here is opponent yards per rush attempt, right? Yards per carry.
Yep.
Minnesota's second in the league at 3.9 yards per attempt. So, listen, it's going to come down to playing balanced, of course. We're a much more balanced team than the Vikings are in the sense that they like to throw the ball a lot more often than we do, right? So that's going to come into play here big time. You don't want to keep pounding your head against the wall. When we're talking about run the ball, it's on those first downs, try to establish the run. If you go out 3 straight drives and you on first down, you lose a yard, you gain 2, you lose a yard, you're going to have to throw on first down. And the reason that LaFleur chooses to throw on first down so often, it's the easiest down to throw on. But that being said, in moderation. Right. That's why I've been tracking it all year long. Right. So it's important. But go ahead, Tim. What were you going to say, bud?
Oh, I totally agree. It's, when we say pound the run the damn ball, all that, what we're really saying is, run first mentality, right? Let's get all of our action in the pass game off of the run game. Let's get the run game going on early downs, push the ball forward, get the line blocking downhill, and then let's run that play action. Let's run that, jet sweep and, orbit motion, things that we like to do, get a little fancy. You can do that if you establish a run game. And against the Vikings, it's not going to be an easy thing to do, but you can't run away from it the minute you get stuffed on a first down run or something. You can't just bail on the run and start throwing the ball every time you're at the line of scrimmage.
Right. Exactly. And that's what we're saying. Like we've been tracking the first down passing too. And listen, I may have missed 1 or 2 here or there, but I think I've got them all pretty well. I take a lot of pride in how we chart games. Last week, obviously a huge win over the Saints. We threw the ball on first down 6 times. We completed 3 of those passes. The week before, right, was it Seattle we beat, right? Yeah, beat Seattle 30-13. We were 7 of 8 on first down passes, all right? The week prior to that against the Lions, you lose to the Lions by 3 points. They only threw the ball 5 times on first down in that game. So they didn't really get away from the run too much, it seems like, right? They really tried to run on first down, and you ended up being 2 of 5 on first down passing. The week before, you were 6 for 9 on first down passing, and you won that game. And then the week before that, you beat the Niners. You were 2 for 5. So it seems like Matt is hovering between 5 to 10 first down passes every game. And that sweet spot is when you can hit it. Let's say you do throw the ball on first down. Let's say you throw the ball 7 times. You got to hit on 4 to 5 of those on first down to have a really good shot at winning the ball game because you're going to play from behind and you're going to play right into – I think I heard Coach Gruden say on his Gruden takes there, they have 10 different players on Minnesota's team that's got interceptions, I believe. So it doesn't matter where you distribute the ball. They are ball hogs. But also keep in mind that they are pretty bad at giving up the deep pass. And also in the slot, like we talked about, Jaden Reed's kind of primed for a big game. Go ahead, Tim.
No, I was just going to say, like, play to their weakness, right? They give up the deep shot, get them creeping up, get them having to account for that run game, stepping down into the box. Maybe, you see some single high looks, you got some one-on-ones. That's your time to pull that play action and launch that shot play, But if you've got Minnesota's DBs, and their linebackers just sitting back in coverage all day because all you're doing is throwing the ball, then you're playing right into their strengths, honestly. And it's going to be a long day if you take that approach. That's why I like what Matt has done, like, as of late. We're basically not quite 60-40. We might be like 55-45 as far as like run versus pass. Like we slightly lean on that run, but we will air that ball out. We are dynamic in the passing game with the targets that we have, and obviously QB1. So I just think, you have to have that balanced attack, but maybe lean a little more on your run game to help you in that pass attack.
Yeah, definitely. Anything to add to that, Jacob? Anything at all?
No. No. As always, I try to monitor the chat, and it's a completely different conversation than what's going on with the podcast usually. But just to be really clear, too old for this says, and for those that are wondering, I live, again, real close. So I understand the hate and he goes, I'm about to drive past the US Bank Stadium. Want me to talk any trash at the Bird Killer? And a bunch of people.
No, just tell them that the Packers are in town and we about to rob a bank. That's how you
And a bunch of people are like, what do you mean the Bird Killer? United Bank Stadium is renowned for killing thousands and thousands of birds every year because they didn't think of doing like some sort of.
Why the hell hasn't Taylor Swift mentioned that, right?
I'm just saying. It is honestly hilarious for.
I don't listen too much Taylor Swift.
It's if they ever play the Eagles, it'll probably be great or whatever. But
Yeah. And listen, Edgerrin Cooper's ready for the game, boys.
Let's go.
My man Instagram story this out. Does it every week now.
Look
this
at
is
this.
the one Michael Myers walking out of the burning home, and I'm wondering if Tucker Kraft had been there first. What were you going to say, Jacob?
No, look, Rel said the same thing. Anyone see Coop's story today?
There you go. So we threw a little modification in here for you. All right, we just went ahead and tacked that on outside of US Bank.
Got the road whites on. Let's go. I love it.
A little blood on the face, you know what I mean? And Grok will not let you put blood in there, so all you got to say is red paint, please, sir. We just need a little red paint on. So that is called beating the system, something that I have attempted to do my entire life. All right, let's go to the chat here. Ron Samble says, looks like Bull is up. How do you guys feel about Javon Bullard here, man? This is going to be –
I feel like this guy right here. Bam. Let's go. Put the kid out there. Let's go. Put that Bulldog out there. That Georgia boy out there. Let him play. Right? He's a rookie, right? He's fine. The ankle's good. He's fine. Let's cut him loose.
He's a young whippersnapper, right?
Yeah, let's go.
I think we're going to regret if we take Zane Anderson off the field. You know what I mean? Like, it would be tough for me to stomach this game if they put Bullard at safety, move Key to the slot, and what ends up happening, I'm not picking on any one of, whether it's Valentine or Stokes, let's say they get cooked, right? Bullard has a bad game at safety, and Zane Anderson, who really, really flashed last week, all of a sudden sitting on the bench. That's going to be –
yeah. And so what are you going to end up doing? You're going to end up reverting back. You're going to move Key to the boundary, right? You're going to put Bullard in the slot, and you're going to put Zane Anderson on the field, and you're going to go out there and try and cook. So I say let's start on a good foot. I'm with you, Clay. Let's go.
I feel like we should play the hot hand, put Bullard in the slot, leave Zane in is kind of where I'm leaning. Do you guys agree with that or no?
I do. Let him pick up where he left off, right? He was playing slot before the injury.
Right.
Put him back out there.
I agree. Play the hot hand. The guy has shown that the moment's not too great for him. And, this is the type of year where we've talked about it with Jordan Love being Toyota-thon, but realistically, Matt LaFleur has been killing it in December. I would argue that our defense right now is starting to kill it and really understand what they are and what they can be capable of. And you know what? Look at that, bro. I don't want to see that. You guys want to see that? Oh my Lord. And
somebody come look at this.
I really do feel like that this team is just ascending. I keep saying it over and over and over that a lot of guys, a lot of teams are starting to get tired. I feel like, and I've criticized the amount, especially like in the D end room, or I'm like, why are they rotating these guys so much? You know why? Because they're healthy as you know what right now, and they're raring to go. And that means that for all four quarters, you got guys that if the occasion calls for it, they can pin their ears back and absolutely just dominate. And one of those guys, the one that I love the most, Mr. Cox.
That's exactly right. I'm glad you brought that up. Knucklehead Paul in the chat. He said, let's go play smart, mistake-free football, and violently aggressive, man. Protecting the football is going to be the big thing. Again, when we face these guys back in September, you lost the turnover differential 4-3. If you win that turnover differential 4-3, you probably win that ball game, seeing you only lost by 2 points, right? So It's going to be the ultimate factor in today's game, in my opinion. So let's go out and protect that ball like Paul is saying for sure. All Good says it is the end of the world. Try to live. What do you say? It is the end of the world. Try living in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. I don't know what that means.
Eau Claire. So that means I made a comment that it's tough living next to Vikings fans. So I don't want to one up you, All Good, but I'm 40 miles closer than you are in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. It is tough being on the western side. Everybody talks about their rivalries.
Still smell those Vikings fans from Eau Claire.
Exactly. All Good says I want to see Reed deep. Yeah, the crossers are going to play a big role in this game. Especially if they're going to play a lot of man coverage. Now they play more man coverage than us, and we could actually pull up the coverages here. I think we have them as early as last week just to kind of get a quick refresh on what the Vikings like to do coverage wise. So the Vikings, as of last week, were second in EPA per drop back at minus 0.04. So they're one of the best pass defenses in the league, as well as the run defense. Now, when you look at what they do the most, they play cover 2 zone 24% of the time, cover 3 zone 25% of the time. So they're actually in cover 3 and cover 2 the majority of the time, cover 4 20% of the time, cover 6 5% of the time. When it comes to man coverage, they play cover 1 9% of the time. They go zero coverage 5% of the time, as well as cover 2 man. So they're really, really evenly distributed across the board, seeing it was a team that last year, if I remember correctly, played a whole lot more of man coverage. But they're going to mix it up, man. They're going to make Jordan read this thing out. And you just got to trust your keys. You got to have your guys on the same page, protect the football, press into the run like we talked about until they prove, hey, we're not going to let you run on first down. You need to try to attack through the running game. Now, with that being said, in Matt LaFleur's history here with play calling, do not be surprised if on the first play of the game, Matt LaFleur doesn't call a shot play. Like, I could see it. And if it falls incomplete, I'm going to be madder than a damn hornet. If they hit on it, I'm going to be happy as a possum in a dumpster. It's going to happen. So keep in mind, they're a very balanced defense from a standpoint of pretty much 25% of the time cover 3, 24% of the time cover 2, 20% of the time cover 4. So Jordan is going to have to read this defense out, no doubt. Let's see.
Absolutely. And the protections, like we talked about, him being slippery in that pocket, right? Avoiding pressures when they do show up. So I mean, we talk about seeing safeties bite down. Like, you're going to see that with Harrison Smith. You know what I mean? He's gonna come down into that box. Maybe 8 or 9 or 10 times it's going to be sugar, but that one time that it's not, you got to be ready for it. And Jordan's been so good at extending that pocket, and also taking the the safe shot rather than the let's win it all with one throw shot. And that's what builds momentum when you're trying to put a drive together. You can take those deep shots, and you may hit on them half the time, but when you're missing, man, that can really stall your drive out. So I think we just got to play our game and be accountable there at the line of scrimmage.
I completely agree. All right, let's see here. Coach Lynn says Musgrave has to step up. I think it would be huge if you could press into 12 personnel a little bit here, right? If you go 12 personnel with Musgrave on the field, the strength of Musgrave is he's a better receiving tight end than blocking tight end, obviously.
Musgrave
right?
Stayed on his feet.
So what if you showed 12 personnel, right, and attacked as if it was 11, right? Having your boy Tucker Kraft playing attached and then motioning and flexing out Musgrave, you might be able to catch them at a little bit of a disadvantage, because that's definitely, if I remember correctly, that's something we didn't have. Was he available? Did he play that early in September? I'm trying to think of when he got hurt. He may have been on.
It was end of September, wasn't it?
I think so. So that might have actually been the game he got hurt.
Yeah.
So anyway, we'll keep an eye on Musgrave. I agree, Coach. I think he could play a big role. But with Christian Watson out, you would think they would press into 12 a little more than they normally would. But also, you can't sleep on Bo Melton. You guys remember it was this time last year. Was it against the Vikings last year that he had a 100-yard receiving game?
I thought it wasn't he was some stupid stat that he was the only Packer receiver
All
to
year
get
long.
over 100 yards?
I mean, even if Bo's the guy that's taken over that jet motion, right? You know, those looks
Yeah.
we would run to Scoot, let him do it, and then maybe guys like, you know, Wicks, Rome, and Reed, those guys are eating, and Bo's just dragging coverage all over the field all night long because we know he's got the wheels, right? He's the fastest guy on the team.
Yeah, and he had a 14-yarder last week, right? If I remember correctly, he had a 14-yard in around. So
Yes.
they might have just said, "Hey, let's get the old Lamborghini out of the shop here a second and make sure the gas is good in it, right? You know how
That's
that
right.
goes." So,
Put it in neutral, step on the gas pedal a little, rev that motor up. Let's go.
Anthony in the chat said, "Get Scoot ready for the playoffs." Yeah, it seems like that's the route they're going to go, and I have no qualms with it at all. 2-0 for this. In typical Minneapolis fashion, I woke up from the police investigating a stolen vehicle that ran into my neighbor's house. All right, there you go. You heard it from a fan.
That's terrible.
That is terrible, Chuck. Andy Watkins, worried about Addison. Listen, two of the best receivers in the game here, man. Obviously, Addison's grading out significantly lower than Justin Jefferson, but he's still in the 70s, if I remember correctly. He was my top receiver the year he came out in the draft. And I know some people were worried he's maybe a little undersized, this and that. He's proven to be a really good receiver, and it's a good 1-2 punch, and you can't sleep on Hawkinson either, man. Yeah. Hawkinson, I feel like, is a very, very, very underrated tight end in the league for sure. So
I feel like that's why I like Javon Bullard being in the slot. You know, let him play that physical game. You know, I want to see him come across, chipping a tight end. You know, be physical. You know, in that 5-yard area near the line of scrimmage early in the play, and I think Bullard can help us tilt the game a little bit. At least fight that battle. You know, with that tight end room.
Yeah, definitely. Jen Wright in the chat says it's still Tupac December though. So
let's go.
Very good point, man. My man is just lights out in December. There's no
about Tupacalypse up in Minnesota today. Let's go.
For a coach that gets labeled with he can't win the big one, boy, he sure wins a lot of clutch games in December when the playoffs are on the line, does he not?
You already know.
Most of the time you get in December, it's playoff football. It really is. You're kind of fighting for your playoff life there. Dennis says Lecember to remember sales event. I love it.
I love it.
So we need Grok to create an image of Matt LaFleur on a used car lot, right? And it say Lecember to remember sales event. So we'll make that happen for sure. Let's see Brambo in the chat. I lived in Wisconsin and worked in Minnesota, paid taxes for the U.S. Bank Stadium.
That's terrible.
Yeah. Isn't it funny, too? Like, that's one thing I did crack up with this whole rivalry between the Packers fans and the Vikings fans. You know, Mike Florio with Pro Football Talk, you guys know he's a diehard, Vikings fan.
I don't know who's more annoying, Florio or Paul Allen. One of the two.
Paul Allen.
I think Paul Allen, too, but you're right, man. Florio's a close second. But he would always make fun of and complain. They're cheating their fans out of money with these fake stock drives and this and that. It's like, no, you knucklehead. There's not a Packer fan on the planet that really thinks they own stock in the team as if it's going to pay dividends. It's an opportunity for the fans to go, hey, we want to expand the stadium. Yeah, let us throw in on that. You know what Minnesota does? They force their taxpayers to pay for it. They force them to. So, you tell me which one you would vote for. Would you rather be forced to pay for a sports complex, or would you rather have the option to make a donation towards it? That always cracks me up that argument comes into play for sure. Jen Wright says, we got a kicker this time. Hey, missed 2 field goals last time, right? When we played the Vikings.
That's right.
I'm telling you, man, there's so many aspects of the Packers game outside of the 3 starters on defense and arguably your best wide receiver missing this game that could play a role in this game, right? And if you take away the fact that you're missing those key players and you look at, okay, this team is pressed into the run more since the last time we played the Vikings. They are playing much, much, much better defense than they played against the Vikings the first time around. And now you've got a kicker who can win you those tight games, which I think this one could come right down to the wire.
Sure.
It's just, man, how blessed are we, though, that you've got this kind of marquee matchup. This is the first time they said, I can't remember, was it over a decade? Is that right? That the Packers and Vikings have faced each other where they're both like 11-win teams. This is going to be a blast to watch, man. It's going to be awesome.
It's like we always say, man, the NFL is better when the NFC North is tough, man. When you've got guys like, the Packers, the Lions, the Vikings, we know the Bears still suck, but, when you've got a lot of 10+ win teams in one division, really in general, it makes the playoff seeding and everything more exciting towards the end of the year. And I think Jen Wright is absolutely correct. We have a kicker this time around. We lost that last game by 2 points, right? We were trying to recover an onside kick. Maybe we don't have to do that if we have a kicker that's hitting 2 or 3 crunch field goals down the stretch. So I'll take it.
Yeah, and here you see Matt Schneidman, since we're talking kicker. Brandon McManus, good from 61 in warm-ups. He missed from 62 and 60. Had enough leg for 62, though. So
mixed money.
Looks like that range is going to be probably around 60 yards, that if Matt LaFleur has to make a decision to kick a kick, to take a shot at the field goal, he may do it as far out as 60. That's exciting, guys. I mean, we haven't had that in quite some time, right? It's going to be awesome. So, all right, let's see here what else we got in the chat. Coach Lynn, with Watson out, I think Wicks is in for a huge game. He's played better the last 2 weeks, and he will get a bunch of looks. It seems like he was pretty effective when they played them last year on New Year's too. It seemed like it was a game where Bo Melton shined and Dontavion Wicks. I want to say Wicks had a big yak play, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong though. So we'll see if Wicks is in for a huge game. What do you guys think about that? You think Dontavion Wicks may step up to the plate here?
I think every time Minnesota wants to run zone, let's look at number 13, because he has a knack for running a great crispy route and then sitting down in that open space in the zone and just being a completion magnet out there. So I would agree with Coach Lynn. I think, and a huge game for Wicks would be, 5, 6, 7 catches, 100 yards. I mean, I don't care, tutters or not, whatever. Be effective in helping this offense march down the field. I think Wicks could be a huge advantage for us today.
Yeah. There's no doubt about it, too. Both Wicks and, Watson this year are blocking way better than they did last year. Wicks could be an X factor out there in the blocking game as well. So Dennis Stroke with the super chat. Jacob is the whiskey to show's tall boy. There you go. All right. Appreciate it, Dennis. Thank you for the super chat, buddy. All right. Coach Lynn, with Watson out, I think Wicks is in for a huge game. We just hit that one, right? Here we go. Holmes. Ben Sims is our fastest tight end. Has played well. I love Ben Sims.
Me too.
And I know this is a very, very, very unpopular opinion. I would rather have Sims out there than Musgrave. That's just me. Based off of what we've seen up to this point. Yeah, and listen, you might have Musgrave may be the best number 3 tight end in the entire National Football League, right? But I do feel like Sims has showed more in the blocking game, and he showed that when he's gotten his opportunities, he'll catch the football too.
But hey, what a great time, an opportunity to, with Scoot out, we talk about these other receivers stepping up. What if, this is a game where we see Musgrave, flexed in there as, a receiving threat, and we're not asking him to do too much blocking or, down and dirty tight end work. Maybe we're letting him stretch the field for us a little bit and let some of our receivers go to work. That's an option as well. Cause I'm with you, man. I think Ben Sims is a monster, man. Him and Tucker Kraft, man, they look like long lost brothers. They're like, like the twin gunners, right? You got Tuck Norris and you got Mr. Sims over there. I love it.
I wonder if anybody in the chat right now could do a RAS average between Tuck Norris, Musgrave, and Ben Sims, because I have to bet it's above 9.5. I think.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and they're all probably real close to each other too.
Yeah.
I can see that for sure. Just coming through Twitter, making sure we're not missing any updates. I was trying to find the Vikings inactives. You guys talk for a minute. Hit on some of those chats. Let me see if I can find the Vikings inactives here.
Tim, you want to grab them?
Let's see.
We got Mike Hebring. I haven't heard you in a while, man. Good to see you again, brother. It says the Vikings are a main rival for me as well. Born in Grand Marais, grew up in Chippewa Falls. Oh, I know where that is. I used to play them in high school in Wisconsin. It's always been the Vikings for me. That's just for me as well. When you grow up in the western part of Wisconsin, you just can't help but it just happens that way.
That's what's so unique about this year. I never thought I could hate a fan base more than I hate the Vikings. And then I ran into some Detroit Lions fans this year. And they're a close second right now. They're actually, they make Minnesota look a little more tolerable the way these Lions fans are acting. But
and it's because they got cocky so fast.
Yeah.
Right. After like 50 years of nothing. And all of a sudden they have a couple decent years and they're like, well, we're the best it's ever been.
And they still haven't won anything yet.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Got it. All right. So here are the inactives. Tim, if you want to hit those real quick for me, I got a text, man. I'm over here selling the damn house right now. It's unbelievable.
Let's do it. Sunday's Vikings inactive.
I just need 3 hours to watch football, and that's when they want to make an offer. This is unbelievable. Go ahead.
We got quarterback Brett Rippon. Wow, did not know he was still in the league. That's crazy. Fabian Moreno.
Moreau.
Yeah, and we've got Levi Drake Rodriguez, Dan Feeney, and Walter Rouse are all inactive for the Vikings today. So, I mean, I guess they're down a backup QB, and you know, I don't know how significant any of this is really for the, you know, for that team. But certainly being down a DB and a D lineman, that kind of plays to our advantage offensively. So I think that's something worth noting. Yeah,
and they are pretty healthy though. We kind of seen what's his name? I'm blanking. The safety, unbelievable safety, played for Notre Dame, former boxer.
Hamilton?
No, plays for the Vikings.
Vikings.
Why can't I think of his name? I could see him.
Harrison Smith, right?
Harrison Smith, like the most Caucasian name on the face of the planet. Harrison Smith. He kind of popped up on the injury report. And we're like, oh boy, if they miss him, because he's just such an intelligent player. But he's obviously healthy. I think they're coming in this game pretty healthy. But again, the Packers, they got this thing humming right now, man. We'll see how it plays out. So again, those are your inactives. Backup quarterback Brett Rippon. You've got cornerback Fabian Moreau, defensive line Levi Drake Rodriguez, center Dan Feeney, and tackle Walter Rouse. So there are your Vikings inactives as we're getting closer to kickoff here. We're less than an hour, right, guys? So,
yeah, look what we got here. Mr. Nick Maswain went in. He crunched the numbers. Thank you very much for that, Nick. So Sims was a little bit under what I thought it was. Apparently, according to the chat, he was in the 8.32 range. But the rest of them were in the high nines. So the average of all three is still a 9.226. I mean, that'll play. That'll do.
That is wild. All right, Dennis Shook with another super chat here says this could end up being the best game this season. It really could, Dennis.
Yeah.
Appreciate the super chat, man. I see it that way. I really do. We talked about it was probably a quarter of the way through the season. Everybody had acknowledged, man, the NFC seems much stronger than the AFC, albeit the Kansas City Chiefs could beat anyone, right? I mean, they just continue to find ways to win ball games. But, yeah, this is kind of that old school. The only thing that would make it better is if it was at Lambeau with a little snow flying. You know what I mean? That's the only thing.
Hey.
So here we go. Appreciate the super chat, Dennis. Thank you. And then we got Based Jiren. I hope I'm saying that with the super chat. Thank you, sir. He says, as a Vikings fan from Louisiana, I've never had that natural attachment to any one rivalry, but I always hated the Packers the most until the Lions fans got cocky after 2 decent years in their history.
Exactly.
Man, I love it. It's like total role reversal, right?
Welcome to the team, Base.
Yeah.
Let's go.
And we as Packer fans can totally respect a Vikings fan that's, been like trained to hate Packer fans their whole life. That's how we feel about you guys. So, real recognize real, as they say in them streets. But, I think it is true, man. The Lions fans are just cocky for no reason. And I cannot wait to see them be one and done in the playoffs this year. It's going to be awesome.
I think the thing that bothered me the most is like how multiple Lions fans this year came forward and were like, you guys have never had to deal with what we've had to deal with. We'll see if you're really a fan. Are you going to stick by your team? We're like, hold up. Well, I had to pull the receipts. I'm like, let's go back to 2021. Okay. The first full season that Dan Campbell was your head coach, you were dead last in average attendance, right?
You had paper bags over your head.
Yes. Yeah. And on top of that, they go, well, we got a small seating. No. We did the research there too, partner. Go double check. You averaged 14,000 empty seats in your stadium every single Sunday. Yep. And you're going to sit here and pretend like we were by the whole time. Get away from me with that crap. I'm too drunk to taste that chicken, Ricky Bobby. So that is
things could be a lot worse. I could be a Bears fan.
It's like Lions fans. It's like they sit back and go, man, thank God no one else has access to the internet. We can lie our asses off. It's just wild. It's wild to think about. So, but yeah, thank you for the super chat, Base. Good luck today, buddy, to your Vikings. They got a hell of a team this year, man. This is going to be a really, really good battle today, no doubt. All right, let's see here. There was another Vikings fan in here earlier. I think we might have missed it. I apologize for that. There was one in here just saying, hey, it should be a good game. So we definitely appreciate the respect. Going back,
yeah, that's right. That was I don't know if we can find that comment or not. That was back at the top. I did see that.
It's all good. Basically
saying that hoping for an injury-free game. Let's have a good football game. These are two playoff teams getting ready to battle it out in the NFC playoffs, and you just don't want to see anyone go down late in the year.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. Let's see. Your number one Packer fan, Vikings have a lot of weapons on offense. You can't stop them all, but every fighter can lose from one key punch to keep slugging it out. The big thing here is you got to pick your poison. You got to say, okay, what are we going to stop? And you guys know my opinion. We know that Sam Darnold has been as good as anyone at handling pressure this year. So just rush 4, get exotic with the front look, but always bring 4, have 7 in coverage. He burned you a couple of times on third down scrambling the last time you played him. So make sure you have good gap discipline. Don't let him get those cheap third down, move the sticks plays by scrambling out of the pocket, right? So put 7 in coverage, make him read it every single play. To me, that's going to be the key. Don't get too aggressive. Now, we've seen the Keyshawn Nixon strip sack back in September where he caused the fumble. Edgerrin Cooper recovered it, right? These are two different teams from September to today, right? And they are playing against the pressure really, really well. So I would, like I said, man, keep everything in front of you. I'm okay with them scoring on a 14-play drive. I'm not okay with them scoring on a 2-play drive. Like, you got to control the explosive plays. The key to this game, as always, is going to be turnover differential, explosive plays. And we got an officiating crew. What's his name again, Tim? What's that gentleman's name?
Carl Cheffers. We got General Carl Cheffers out there tonight.
All right, so he is the head official, and his crew are throwing the least amount of flags per game this year. Why is that important to mention? If there was a game where you're going to play aggressive, this is it, right? This is the game where you go, okay, let's try to be aggressive until they throw the flags, and then we'll back off. When you face someone like a Ron Tolbert or a Clete Blakeman, it's like, hey, boys, come on now. If you breathe on somebody, they're going to throw a flag. So
that being said, still watch the extracurricular, right? Let's watch the old diving on the pile late and the late hits on that kind of stuff. We got to anything obvious is going to get called today.
Yeah. Enigbari is not going to get away with that today if he goes diving on the pile. It's not going to happen. Base Jiren in here, the Vikings fan said the Vikings offense is much better than it was in week 4, though. Very good. Very true. That's what you guys don't understand. Yeah, they've definitely improved. There's no doubt about it. But what's crazy is you guys were leading that game by like 30 points.
Yeah.
Right. And the Packers defense caught on in the second half. So this is a much different Packers defense than it was in week 4, too. That's what you don't understand. Edgerrin Cooper was not getting significant snaps. That dude's grading out as the 8th best linebacker in the league right now. Xavier McKinney, they tried Xavier McKinney a couple of times in that game. One of them was picked off, or they tried the leak out corner route to Aaron Jones, and he jumped it like taking Mountain Dew from a damn baby. That stuff is going to come into play too. These are two different teams. That's what's a beautiful thing. I love it when division rivals play early in the year and then really, really late. Because it might as well be a different season. It really
so
should.
True.
Yeah. So, all right, let's see here. JJ McQuaid in the chat says, I think Love was injured also back then. Something else they're not mentioning, JJ, is he was that was his first game back from the injured knee, had the brace on too, could barely scramble. That one of the picks, as a matter of fact, was you could see him hobbling out of the pocket trying to chuck and duck. So Jason Y with the super chat. Appreciate you, Jason. You are the man. He says the key to today's game will be Love. Vikings run defense is very good. Amen to that. Second best in the league according to yards per rush for sure. So let's see if Jay Love can get it cranked like he did last New Year's Eve when these teams faced late in the year in the same house, right? It was played in Minnesota as well. So thank you, Jason, for the super chat, man. Appreciate you. Daryl in the chat says Musgrave, he somewhat has a downside, was riddled with injuries. Yeah, again, I think Sims is a little more built for this offense than Musgrave is, but you may see a 13 set, boys.
Oh, my goodness.
You might see LaFleur roll 13 out there and put Musgrave and Tuck out wide. You could see that. Oh, I'm sorry. Musgrave and Tucker outside.
Yeah.
And Ben Sims play attached.
Give me a little Chris Brooks blocking. Give me a little Ben Sims playing attached. Let's go.
Yeah, definitely. Two-tone in the chat. I hope Atlanta wins. Tampa's looking scary. They are, man. When they get hot, Tampa is as good as anyone. They're beating the Panthers right now 48-14 in the fourth quarter. I mean, they're peaking at the right time. No doubt about that.
Yeah. Did y'all see what's going on with Saquon as well, real quick? Sorry to interrupt.
No, what's up, man? What you got?
He's got over 200, and he's on pace to break that record, man. They're not pulling him back whatsoever. He is tanking it.
That's what's up right there. Hey, listen, Saquon, the fact that the Giants let him go And to hear the reason
Giants in the same year left Saquon and Exco. What a weird organization, right?
Idiot.
it's crazy. If we dived into the box score here with the Cowboys Eagles, the Eagles are belt to ass on the Cowboys, 41-7 right now.
It's official. We definitely broke the Cowboys last year in the playoffs. We broke that team.
And Jacob, you're right, man. They are intentionally going for the record. 31 carries for Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
How funny.
And it makes sense. Did you see that clip early in the season when Saquon had a chance for his career high single game and he needed a couple carries? They were up and he said, no, let the young guys go play, man. I'm good. So that's a guy that's not playing for individual stats. So if they're boat racing the Cowgirls, I say if today's the day, let them go ahead and get it, man. Salute.
Yeah. Again, it wouldn't be funny, but you want to see Sirianni get his ass ran out of town. Imagine if Saquon, you get him 35 carries and he pops a knee.
Dude.
Oh my God. Yeah. That fan base would lose their mind. I'm telling you right now, if we were winning 41-7 and I seen this, I'd be pissed as a fan. I'd be going, I don't care about that record. That's crazy.
Nick Sirianni, a.k.a. Dan Campbell.
I was going to say, other than that, do you think that's the last, that last boat race right now is going to be the end of Mike McCarthy, right?
I don't think so. I really don't.
You don't think so? No.
They played really well here lately.
They've won the last 4 out of 5, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Cooper Rush, right? I think that Dak going down kind of got him. Now, here's who's going to come available, right? That's going to be the big question.
Right.
What Deion Sanders? What if Deion Sanders says, hey, I want to coach at the next level? Because obviously Shadur is going to be leaving college. And I know his name hasn't been mentioned, but Shadur is going to be leaving. Travis Hunter, who's like his second son, obviously he's leaving, going to be going to the draft. Me personally, as a fan, I would love to see Deion Sanders coaching the Dallas Cowboys. That would be must-see TV in my opinion, and I think that would be awesome. So,
can you imagine just being able to watch the press conference where Jerry announces Deion?
Is it crazy? Real quick, I know this is a Packers podcast, but I saw a stat today that Deion and his Colorado team have never beaten a ranked team. Is that correct?
I don't know. It doesn't sound right to me because
for all the hype that they get and all this. I thought I saw that, but hey, chat, let us know. Jamie in the chat.
But that hype is still warranted, right? I mean,
absolutely.
That program was in the toilet when Deion took that job, so we can't take any credit away.
Beat by like 30 yesterday, though.
His first year in the bowl game, right? We're talking a bowl game, though, right?
Yeah.
So his first the bowl games are the biggest waste of damn time, boys. It's unbelievable. But I want to say his first year coaching, he doubled the win total from the previous year. And then his second year, they were a ranked team a couple times during the season. So it's like Tim said, I mean, they went from bottom of the barrel to next thing you know. I mean, like last I heard, I think it was the second highest recruit in the entire country, a Georgia kid running back signed at Colorado. That stuff did not happen, So, now how long will he stay there and build it? It sounds like, Tim, I think you've talked about it. He's going to stay there, right? I mean, it sounds like he is hell-bent on staying in Colorado.
I mean, that's what he said when he took the job, right? That he wanted to, help, mold the minds and futures of young players, young men, and didn't really feel like he was called to coach professionals. But of course, we've got, NIL and all this. So let's be honest, they're all pros now at this point. So you're going to deal with, ego and all that stuff. But I do think there's something to be said about that. I mean, that's obviously why he felt called to be a coach in the first place, was to help young players. And if that's his passion and getting guys to the NFL, then I think he's probably going to stay. Whether or not that's at Colorado, maybe he's at another program in a few years, who knows? But I think it would take, you're right, like a Jerry Jones offering you head coach of the Cowboys type of job for Deion to probably even think of it,
Yeah, I think so too. Put that Vikings fan chat in there talking smack. Put it up on the screen real quick. We got to get.
Yeah, we got some screenshot stuff here.
Yeah,
Jake,
we got to grab
that comment.
We got to grab some receipts here. If you'll just put that comment up, I got it marked there. Can you see it, Jacob, or no? Is your screen small?
No, I don't see it. What are you talking about?
Here, I got it.
I marked it. Yeah, right here. I got you right here.
Here's a guy.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Funny boy Rhodey says, "Are we going to smoke the Packers pack again today. Skull with the sweep with the broom. All right, listen, we're going to tell you the same thing here, funny boy, that we told everyone else. That may happen. And if it does, we will be right here for the post-game show. You swing back through, take your victory lap, and we'll tip our cap. But if it doesn't happen, we have the recibos here, okay? So just don't think you got enough hair on your ass to swing back through the post-game show if we somehow beat you guys being underdogs today. So just keep that in mind, all right? We'll see if you come back through, and we'll flash the screenshot on the screen saying, hey, guys, do we need to put Funny Boy on the back of a milk carton or not? All right, we'll be here.
I mean, maybe he was just making a joke, like he is Funny Boy after all, right? Maybe this wasn't serious.
That's true.
I mean, maybe it's just a joke, just like the chant that you guys stole from a soccer team,
I just love the fact that they're talking so much trash. Like this makes me feel a lot better about the game.
Yeah, right. Let's
go. A lot better about the game because there's no one. What was it? Nine of the 10 analysts on NFL Network picked the Vikings to win this game. We've got 4 starters out, 3 on defense.
Inject it in my veins. Give it to me.
Exactly what I'm talking about.
You can't have the underdog without the dog. Let's go.
You guys keep hitting the comments there for me real quick. I'm going to try to put the screen grab in the data.
We got a lot of Vike fans in here. I don't know. Are we in your head, guys?
I mean,
what's going on?
What are they going to do? Listen to Paul Allen? I mean, come on.
That's true.
Hey, hit that like button on your way in the door here for us.
Yeah, matter of fact, you know what? We got like nearly 400 y'all watching right now. If you could hit that like and share and be ready for a post-game show, win or lose, but I would estimate more of a win. So
yeah, I mean, it sounds like they pretty much got this one in the bag, boys. I mean,
I think they do.
There we go. We got that screen grab. We'll continue to grab these receipts in here just in case something goes terribly wrong for these Vikings fans. So. All right, let's see what else we got here. I'm going to go to the Packers page real quick and see if we got any updates on the field. I love that the Packers on their game day coverage, man, they do a good job of just kind of keeping us up to date when the guys take the field and all that good stuff.
You got captains yet? We get captains announced?
Let's see. They should have it up there sooner or later, right? Let me go ahead and hit refresh here and see what we got. In terms of captains, they're already taking the field too. Let's go, man. Oof. So, first of all, these are the guys pulling up the work earlier today. There you see Ben Sims. Ben Sims and Tucker Kraft seem to like. They have really gelled well.
Like I said, man, it's like stepbrothers, right? Did we just become best friends?
Every time you see one, you see the other, no doubt. And then the Packers tweeted this out and put must-see CV as Carrington Valentine going to get an opportunity to shine on the big stage.
Let's go.
With Jair Alexander out. Arguably one of the best corners in the game. So it's going to be fun to see if Carrington Valentine is up to par there. We had the inactives we already hit on. Here we are getting warmed up on the field there at US Bank Stadium. Jacob, how do you feel about it, man? How do you think this one's going to go, dude? Do you think the Vikings run away with it? Do you think it's a close game? Do you think the Packers come out and say, you know what, we're tired of all the crap talking that the Vikings fans have been doing. Let's just go ahead and boat race these knuckleheads. What do you think?
I've got a real I don't even want to say a quiet confidence. I've got a pretty – I mean, I've been saying it for a few days now. I just feel like that this team is in a position where this isn't too big for them. We've seen that, I believe, in past, being obviously for the second year in a row, the youngest team in the league. This is a big moment. But the thing is people forget that this very young, newly organized young group of men actually have quite a bit of experience in the playoffs. They know what it's like to actually have a lot of pressure beyond them. Jordan Love is the guy that ascends the Toyota-thon at the end of the year. LaFleur is now pretty darn good in December if you know what like math does and all that stuff. I just think that right now, for anybody to be, especially Vikings fans, for you guys to be really cocky and speak in the way that some of you are speaking, I think you might eat a big slice of humble pie at the end of the night. And if not, like we always say, we'll come back and we'll eat those words. We'll eat our crow. We'll do all that. But I just, with CV too, by the way, I think there is something to be said about a group of young guys like CV, guys that are second year guys that maybe are just now clicking. I think Tim said it the other day. It's like, we forget that this team could all of a sudden take massive strides. You never know. I mean, they always say what an NFL veteran is going to grow the most between years 1 and 3. Well, what if we actually were very good at what we did with drafting and it just took a little bit? We saw it even with guys that are off free agent acquisitions, guys like Dillard that have never been anywhere even serviceable in the league that come here. Guys like, even if you want to go back, with Campbell and the guy we shipped off to the Bills. You know, there's something to be said that this culture knows exactly what they're doing, and this culture has built the team to absolutely turn it on at this point of the year. So I'm not going to be surprised if we I'm not surprised if we blow them out. I wouldn't be.
I wouldn't be either, man. I wouldn't be surprised if they blew us out. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a close game. I wouldn't be surprised if we just absolutely toasted them, you know, as there's a bunch of blowouts, as someone mentioned there in the chat, man. I mean, pretty much every game in the early hour or early window, the Bills are winning 40-0 over the Jets. The Raiders are beating the Saints 25-10. The Giants and the Colts are a close one with 4 minutes left, 35-33 as the Giants are leading. The Eagles are boat racing the Cowboys 41-7, and the Buccaneers are beating the pants off of the Panthers 48-14. So really just one good game, and it's two teams that are trying to screw up a higher draft pick for themselves, it sounds like. So Dennis Shook in the chat here, Tim. He says CV mocked up last week was gold. We talked about he's kind of that lightning rod, man. He's almost like a Jair 2.0, getting the boys fired up, keeping things loose, keeping everything kind of, upbeat. He's got an opportunity to really stamp himself into this lineup moving forward. If he goes out today and balls out, only allows a catch or two, keeps it under 30 yards, let's say, no tutters, you're liable to look up next week and go, all right, man, there's no reason to get too aggressive at cornerback in the offseason. If Jair comes back healthy, CV can play opposite of him. You can put Nixon back in the slot if you need to next year. I think Carrington Valentine, man, this is an opportunity on a national stage to show everybody just how good he can be.
Yeah, no, that's so true. And Dennis is right, man, that if you didn't get a chance to see the mic'd up footage, go to Packers official media, Packers.com, on Twitter, whatever, Instagram. I'm sure it's everywhere, but it's just 4 minutes of gold. And I think one of the, the observations that I had was similar to kind of what, Christian Watson's dad saw. He made a comment about that, basically saying that, it's nice to see guys having fun doing their job. And when you've got that degree of looseness and you're having fun and you're remembering to hype your teammates up, keep the energy high, have fun out there. Remember, you're a grown ass man getting paid millions of dollars to play a kid's game, have fun out there. And then all that pressure, all of that seriousness, yeah, it's there, but that just lingers below the surface. Let your heart and your athletic ability shine out there on the field and play for that guy next to you. And we've really seen, Carrington Valentine step up in the absence of Jair. He's basically kind of filled that role in that secondary. And then obviously you got guys like Keyshawn, you've got Xavier McKinney back there. I mean, we're not short on personality in our secondary room, but Valentine is kind of becoming the glue for that DB room, and it's something really great to see. Not bad for a second year 7th round pick out of Kentucky that a lot of people slept on. So I'm excited for it. Can't wait to see him shut down Jefferson today, man.
Yeah, definitely. Dennis Shook in the chat says, I love the all whites, boys. Who is Jacob wearing? Tell him who you got on there, Jacob.
It might be a little difficult to see. Yeah. So I'm wearing one of the old school jerseys of Mr. Lynn Dickey.
The original 12.
The original 12. And as I told Clayton and the guys before we went live, this was the one. This is the second time I've ever worn it. I wore it to the first time I ever met Clayton in person when we played the Rams, and we won. But I do have a stain. I think it looks like a little ketchup or blood. I'll go with blood. That's way cooler.
Or barbecue sauce.
It's probably barbecue. Yeah. I didn't have the heart to wash it because, as you guys know, I'm not superstitious, but I am
a little stitious.
A little stitious. So
just a little stitious. Let's hear Jay Cole says Baker Mayfield has 359 yards and 5 touchdowns. Now you can look at that. You can look at that 2 different ways, though. You can go, man, Baker having a game, right? But you can also go, boy, if you're having to rely that heavily on the passing game, you better be more balanced than that in the playoffs, because you're not going to go into the playoffs throwing for almost 400 yards, 5 touchdowns. It ain't going to happen, right? Yeah. So
playoffs.
It almost feels like, yeah, they're going to get all amped up, be all pass heavy, get in the playoffs, throw 3 picks, and get routed in the first round. I could see that happening too. So,
Greg Rice just has to. I could not. He says Jake loves Cox and Dickey. Who knew? Yep. Who knew?
Unbelievable, Tim. The stuff we put up with in this show.
You're an amazing person. You know that, don't you?
All right. It says about that time as the Packers are taking the field there for warmups a few minutes ago. You see Jaden Reed Bo Melton and the boys getting ready, heading out onto the field after they got through breaking it down in the tunnel. You see Keyshawn leading them there. You got Josh Jacobs right there beside him, who's just been on absolute tear. Emmanuel Wilson, Corey Ballantyne, he's going to be active. We'll see what he can do today. Corey Ballantyne, this same spot last year, went out there and absolutely shut Justin Jefferson's mouth up. That would be exciting to see that again, too. Now, listen, you guys know I was really high on Corey Ballantyne going into the year, and we had not seen him hardly at all. The coaches know way more than this knucklehead with a horrible country accent. I guarantee you. They seen something from Carrington and even Stokes that they said, hey, look, these guys can be those go-to dudes with Jair out. And Stokes is playing some of his best ball, no doubt about it.
For sure. And then on the linebacker side, hey, Quay's out of there. Keep your eye on, Zay McDuffie and, of course, the former Viking Eric Wilson out there. He's no stranger to playing at the bank. So let's go ahead and get that bank robbery taken care of this afternoon with our defense.
Yeah, no doubt. Captains have been announced, and we have it right here. Y'all ready for this?
Let's go.
We have running back Chris Brooks. Defensive lineman Kenny Clark.
Thick.
We got center Josh Myers.
Thick.
I think Coach LaFleur seen that ice hanging from Josh Myers' neck and said, "Yeah, let's let that boy be captain this week. He's ready to go." So
I love it.
Yeah, I do like that, man. Chris Brooks. Typically, the way that this coaching staff picks their captains, and this is them explaining it, not me, is the practice leading up to this current game. Who really showed themselves like, hey, they worked their ass off this week. They're ready to go. They're preparing the way they're supposed to prepare. When you see Kenny Clark as a captain, that gets me excited. Who knows? This might be the second half Kenny Clark that we've come accustomed to seeing here in the past. It seems like he starts slow, and then that last quarter of the year, he's just, kind of playing with his hair on fire. If Kenny goes out there and wrecks shop, boys, this could be a great game for this defense.
Yep, absolutely. And all he's got to do is just play well, right? Just be a leader, communicate, keep guys on their assignments. We don't need anything hyper spectacular. We just need him to be Kenny Clark, man.
Is this true, Jacob?
Yes, it is. I actually was going to talk about this earlier. They're giving out hand warmers to the first 10,000 fans in attendance because Minnesota is a bunch of dullards. They're bird killers, and they want to warm their hands inside a dome. Bunch of freaking morons.
What the hell is
Hand warmers for a dome team.
I'm in town to play the Dolphins, you dumbass.
Brett calling people dumbass over killing the birds sounded like there. I apologize.
You hurt me, Brett.
All right. We're coming down to the wire here. I want time to go downstairs and get a daddy soda, get settled in to chart this game. Any parting thoughts, Tim? You have the floor, sir. How we feeling about it? Talk to me. Let's wrap this thing up.
Well, 60% of the time, I'm right every time. But last week I predicted a closer than comfortable game, and we absolutely boat raced the Saints. So this week my gut's telling me it's going to be a close game again. So hopefully it is indeed a boat race, and the Packers go ahead and take care of business there on the road. But I think either way we're going to get two really well matched and really good teams playing football right now in December, and this is what being a football fan is all about. And as far as us Packer fans, don't panic. There's nobody to fear. We're playing good ball. Put your faith in this team and this staff, and I think the guys are playing together. And at the very least, man, nobody's going to lay down today. We're not going to play 2 quarters of football today. We're going to get 4 quarters of smash mouth football from the Packers. So I'm tuned up. Let's go.
All right, Jacob.
I mean, Tim pretty much said it best just then. I am excited. I'm confident. I'm going to be okay if we go into this game and we do what we need to do as far as put together a quality game from all aspects. And we just maybe don't, if it doesn't come out right, if we end up having, God forbid, an ending that we don't like, as long as we came to play against one of the best teams in the NFL, I need people to take a break, take a step back, realize, again, we're missing key starters. If this is a playoff game, I think maybe the situation may be a little bit different as to who plays and who doesn't. So take everything with a grain of salt. If we win, I'm going to run naked through the trailer park just yelling that we are the best team ever. But if we lose, just remember that, there are still games to be played this year. Don't lose faith. Don't lose hope. Go Pack, go.
Yeah, I think it's very well said. Again, it's going to be another piece of the puzzle put in place. Can the Packers hang with one of the best teams in the league? Last time, again, 2 different teams, but you lost by 2 points. If you go out there and just show you can compete with the Vikings, you keep it within a 1-score game. I like the momentum you could still create going into the playoffs. You go out there and get boat race, probably looking at an early exit, right? But anything can happen, man. Anything at all can happen for sure. So thanks to everybody who hung out with us here during the pregame show. This was a lot of fun. Thanks to the Vikings fans too, man. This was a blast. Appreciate y'all swinging through. Shout out to Dennis Shook with the super chat. Dennis Shook with the other super chat. Base Jiren with the super chat as a Vikings fan. Appreciate you supporting the stream, buddy. Jason Y with the super chat and Dennis Shook. Again, you guys are awesome. No, we're not highlighting the Blake B one. All right.
I want to.
Although Blake B, we know exactly what you're talking about, sir. Belt to ass in full effect at a different level.
You might like that.
Again, different time today. We got to be careful with that stuff. I took a belt to the ass many moons ago. But it's a different day we live in. As you can see, never mind. We're out of here. We're done.
And we go. We out.
Bye, guys.